Welcome back to Classic Firearms. I'm Brandon, and this is a Military Armament Corporation, otherwise known as MAC 1911. It's a double stack 1911, of course, with a 5-inch barrel. This kind of looks familiar, but moving on from that, we're going to go ahead and talk about the tech specs, and then I will actually verify some of those tech specs and talk about what features this pistol does come with. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Let's get rid of that case. Doesn't need to be here. All right, so first off, like I said, you have that 5-inch barrel. There's a comp on the front. You have very deep slide serrations, so much so that they're actually lightning cuts. And then you also have some slide serrations on the back. It does come cut for an optic. And what's nice is you do have optic plates in the bag, which we'll get to in a minute. And overall, most features on here are ambidextrous, such as the slide releases, the safeties, so on and so forth. The overall length of the pistol is 7.9 inches. The overall height is 5.77 inches. And the overall weight of the thing is going to be 30 inches, of course, unloaded. And that is literally from their website. So real quick, this pistol is clear, just to give you a example, but we always clear everything before we begin. Now, it is single action only, meaning I can only pull the trigger whenever, it only goes bang, I should say, whenever the hammer is cocked. It does not cock the hammer back and then go. And of course, you also have your grip release. Moving on. So the sights on this thing are right behind that comp. That comp is large. So as you can see, the barrel is ported, so it's not your traditional comp. And of course, it is not threaded, or the barrel is not rifled inside that compartment. Then you also have a even larger cut on the actual slide. That front sight is pretty tall. You're talking basically suppressor height sights on this thing. But what you'll notice is there's no dot on here. So what they did is they actually just kind of textured that back of that sight, which is interesting. And then of course you have your rear sight, which is also blacked out. Now, as we had mentioned before, it is optics cut, and you have various different optics that you can put on there. Most things actually, because they give you a lot of plates. But that rear sight, it gives you that kind of concave upward in look to it, which is nice. That slide out of the box feels very, very smooth. I try not to give my opinions on here as much as I can, but that's important. Like, if you pick up a 1911 that's made in Turkey and you pull it back, and it is that smooth, it is just nice. Sorry, just had to put that out there. Sorry for the personal opinion. Moving on. Down below, you have a very large Picatinny rail, which can pretty much fit any light or laser you're going to want to put on there. So that is also very nice. Your hammer is skeletonized, so if you could see that there, that will give you, obviously it lightens up the weight a little bit, and then also you have a very nice grip texture with that angle right where your thumb's going to grab it. Very nice design. I'm overall just very impressed with this thing, especially coming in right around that 1K or less. Yep, I said that, less mark, which is really nice. The trigger guard is a little bit on the smaller side, but that's okay because that's the standard 1911 double stack kind of configuration, or 2011 as some might call it, but that name is maybe copyrighted of some sort. You have a flat face trigger inside of that trigger guard, so that is skeletonized as well. And there is a little bit of texturing going up and down. When that trigger pull is going to be a little bit of movement. Very smooth, very, very smooth. And that trigger release is pretty smooth right out of the box. It kind of pushes your finger forward and then bang again. Overall, very good, especially considering the price. The grip module actually does fit smaller hands very well. So one thing I have found is that double stack 1911s, the mag's pretty thick. I mean, they're a little bit thicker than you would normally expect on a pistol, but that does also go in tandem with the grips usually being a little bit thicker as well on the 2011 style kind of guns. So this fits really nice in smaller hands, and Jason, of course you can see on the main channel as well, Jason and Kaya love the way it fits their hands, and they have bigger hands than I do, so moving on. That grip is made out of polymer and has a very light aggressive texturing on the sides and a more aggressive texturing on the front and the back, so it does feel very confident in your hands. Magwell is made out of metal and is very large, so missing, it's very hard to miss your target when you're going for a reload. Finally, that mag release. It's kind of a circle, as you would expect, and works also as you expect. It is more extended out of the frame than some, which is always nice if you're trying to use this for maybe a competition. So now let's verify some information. They claim that this thing is 7.9 inches long. Let's see if that's actually true. Got our measuring tape here. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to show myself. Okay, so from tip to beaver tail, I mean, you're looking at about 9 inches long. So more than likely they're talking about just the slide portion. That height, let's do it from bottom to top, is about, let's see, that almost, if you're talking to the top of the sights, you're looking at about 6 inches tall, which they said 5.77. So if you're talking about from the slide, that lines up perfectly. And then that width, of course, the slide on this style of gun is going to be thinner. So you're looking at about less than 1 inch. And then, of course, the actual grip module with the mag well is a little bit closer to 2 inches, like 1.5 all the way down in thickness. But this is all exactly what you would expect. Okay, so now let's talk about that weight, because I want to see exactly how much this thing weighs. It feels a little bit on the heavier side, but no more than you would expect in your average 1911 double stack configuration. So let's see if that holds true. I have a handy dandy scale here, literally powered on and waiting to be used. And we're just gonna throw it on there. With the mag, you're looking at 3.378. It's basically 3.38 pounds. Without the mag, because these are, I believe, yep, TSOS mags. Without the mag, you're looking at about, verifying, 3.16 pounds, which, I mean, is pretty close to what I expected, so that's always nice. Now, for the final test. That one is a trigger pull. Let me get rid of this. I know I can throw it down like I did the boxes in the intro. Okay. Moving on to that trigger pull. Turn that bad boy on. Let's see. We're going to do this twice. So, I am going to show you guys this way, and then I'll show you right after what the trigger pull says. So in 3, 2. Wow. 2.57 pounds. I mean, that's pretty light. Let's do it one more time and find out. In 3, 2. 2.12 pounds. That is impressive. I just want to make sure I read that right. One more time. It looks like it's very consistently a 2-pound trigger. It's smooth. It feels good. That's quite nice. In 3, 2. Yep. 2.86 on that one. So roughly anywhere from 2 to 3 pounds is what you're expecting on that trigger. It feels exactly that too. It's nice and smooth. Very impressed with it overall. So with that being said, let's move on to the final note. That is the box. It's over there. Let me grab it. That box, pour that out, comes with a pretty good amount of stuff inside of it. So it comes with this Mac bag. So in the box is a bag, so double protected when shipping, which is nice. You have a front pouch here. That's always nice. It's got some information like the user manual in it. And then the inside portion is probably what you guys are all curious about. So moving on to there. You have your mag holders. You get an extra magazine. And these mags are 17 plus 1, or technically your capacity is 17 plus 1. Mags are 17, you can hold 1 in the chamber. And then, of course, you have your gun lock. Down here, these are all adjustable, so you can pull them off and configure the gun any which way you want to in here, which is pretty cool. I mean, I always like customization. So that's what you get in the box. If you have any experiences with the Mac made by TSOS Double Stack 1911, please leave a review down below. I would love to see your comments on this one because I am curious as to what you think. We're going to go shoot it over on the main channel, so be sure to check that out as well. With that being said, that's all I have for you guys today, so stay safe. God bless. It is time to end. Now I want to go shoot this thing.